Hello, my name is DrewRibs and I'm here to commentate on a match uh, that I've played against Wavert in the Keyforge Portugal League. This is a post-match commentary, as you can see, so this is pre-recorded. Right now I'm checking my opponent's Archon card, checking for some dangerous cards over there. One of them being Mars Needs Ember, but we'll get to that in a sec. I draw my hand. I'm the second player to go, and I drew into a 3-2-1 hand setup, which is not terribly good. But I did draw the Howling Pit, which is a very important card in my deck. See that my deck doesn't have a lot of cards with Amber Pips, so its main method of Amber generation is by reaping. So it's a good benefit for it's a benefit for my deck to be able to draw into my creatures uh, uh, quick more quickly. So that's exactly what I decided to do. I decided to open with the Howling Pit and research Smoko, so I can increase my hand size and my opponent's. In case you don't know, the Howling Pit allows each player, or makes each player refill their hand to one extra card, so to 7 instead of 6. Another thing that my deck has, oh, by the way, the deck links are in the description of this video. So another thing that my deck has is 3 Infernuses. So another reason for me to put down Howling Pit first is to access my Amber control cards also uh, more quickly. Excuse me. Right now, I'm facing a full board of untamed creatures. So what I decide to do is reboot Smoko and use standardized testing to destroy my Smoko and all of his um, level power 4 creatures. Yes, leaving him with 3. Maybe I'm now thinking about it. Maybe I should have attacked with Smoko, destroying him in the process and using standardized testing to destroy the remaining creatures. I forgot to do that. And so what he's going to do now is that he played Full Moon, which grants him 1 amber for each creature that he plays. And he now has a, a pretty sizable board of 5 untamed creatures. So looking at it, oh, and he also has check, so he has 6 amber for a 6 cost. So at this point, I was between using my Infernuses or going Sanctum. And as you probably could tell, I went Sanctum because neither of us had cards with Amber Pips in our discard piles. So if I were to use my Infernuses, I wouldn't be able to reduce his Amber count. I could play Waking Nightmare, but still it would be a waste of Infernuses if I did that. So instead, I opted to just place down Gorvenal with Seraphic Armor and capture 1 amber thanks to its capture enhancement pip. So I'm still facing a board of 4 untamed creatures, and although we are even in terms of amber, well, not anymore. Uh, Now he's going to reap with all of his untamed creatures, and he's now 9 amber. He's at 9 amber. So right now I'm thinking that, yep, I'm going to have to use uh, my Infernuses. The question is, the only discard pile with cards with Amber Pips is my own. So right now I was thinking, what's the best course of action? I should obviously first start with purging cards from my own discard pile. The problem is, he's still at 7 amber, and he doesn't have any cards on his discard pile that I can purge. What I decide to do is I decide to use Gateway to this, to destroy all of his to destroy his oppressive board basically, and my own Infernus, which allows me to play Bonesaw ready. And then, since I do have a Waking Nightmare in my hand, I decide, as you will see, I decide to play Infernus and choose a card from my opponent's discard pile. This is because I do think that he has some pretty threatening creatures So right now I'm still making the decision. This is something that I actually had to think about a little bit. But yeah, I ended up picking picking his discard pile and discarding what I think are threatening creatures like Witch of the Wilds instead of Collector Worm. Witch of the Wilds is a card that allows you to, as long as it's on a field, it's on the field, it allows you to play an Untamed card if Untamed is not your active house. So I feel like it grants quite the advantage in terms of flexibility and versatility. So I opted to banish those cards, and to stop my opponent from forging a key on this turn, I used Waking Nightmare to increase the key cost to 8, at least his key cost. I was sure I was going to forge a key. However, as you could see, he played a miasma and gained an amber because of it, and it basically stopped me from reaping this turn. And granting him the 7 amber, and I do not have any way to stop him from forging. What I can do, however, is place Titan Engineer in the center of my battle line, raising the key cost to 7, which means if I now end my turn, he will have to use up all of his amber and not have any surplus amber from the regular cost of 6. I also used opposition research, and as you can see, I reminded my opponent of that, which means he cannot reap with his bad penny. However, I am starting to wonder if playing Titan Engineer was a good idea, because now I'm the one that needs to have 7 amber. And yeah, he actually took advantage of that and played the Ronnie Wristlocks, which means that he stole 2 since I had 7 amber, which is the play effect of Ronnie Wristlocks. So at this point, I'm thinking that maybe playing in Titan Engineer was not a very big brain play. Now up to 2 amber and 1 key. I have no amber. I have 5 amber and I have no key. So although I do have a board advantage, I still feel a little bit cornered, or I feel like I'm lagging behind. Thankfully, I did have a diametric charge in my hand, which allows me to destroy one of the Ronnies. Um, and what I decide to do next is I decide to reap with Titan Engineer, then fight with Munchling, and use its effect to discard the other useless opposition research. And I save the best for last. I reap with bot Bookton, and the card that I top deck, out of a stroke of luck, was Bouncing Deathwork, which allows me to destroy my own Titan Engineer. Although I am checking his Archon card to make sure that he doesn't have anything that can threaten me next turn. However, he does have, because he has House Mars on his deck, and I don't know if you could tell, but he does have a Flotsam Spear, and that destroys that if the player doesn't have any creatures on his or her battle line, it destroys every creature the opponent controls that is not on the flank. So by doing that, he was able to reclaim one of his amber and destroy my bot Bookton and one of my Infernuses. So he's up to 5, well, now 6 amber and 1 key, and I have 8 amber but no key and just Bonesaw. What happened is that he played Mindworm and then used Mars first to to fight with it, and he fought my Bonesaw. And Mindworm's effect is that it when it fights a creature, the neighbors of the creature it fights are dealt damage equal to the power of the creature that Mindworm is fighting. So I was able to forge a key, but I'm still quite behind. So the first thing that I decide to do is go this and play Mindfire, and by a stroke of incredible luck, I discarded Fuzzy Gruen, which means that I was able to steal 2 Amber, and then play Infernus to purge Fuzzy Gruen, and also I am now undecided between Falcon Spear or Miasma, but I end up picking Miasma, because I think it's more threatening to my pace. This means that he, in this turn, lost 5 amber in one turn. So I could say that, yeah, I was very lucky with Mindfire, and I was basically able to turn the game state around here. And also, I drew into a very good, very powerful Sanctum hand with 4 creatures and a Spirit's Way, and also I drew into Fabian, Scrivener Fabian, which allows me to resolve um, capture enhancement pips as if it were a steal amber instead of capturing. So I knew I was going to steal 1 amber next turn. He played sample. I don't remember the name of the card, but it's a Mars card that allows you to archive an opponent's creature for each key that that opponent has forged. And then he plays a key abduction just for the Ember Pip. So he gets rid of one of my Infernuses. That's okay. I have 2 more. And I'm also going Sanctum and developing my house to great heights because with 4 creatures in hand and the ability to steal 1 amber, yeah, I'm actually going to build a board, a very oppressive board here. Of course, I'm still checking his Archon card to make sure that there's nothing dangerous that he can do. I place my Great Rider, I deploy it between Ardent Hero and Techno Knight. This is so that I could reap with Techno Knight and use its effect to discard a card and draw a card. And luckily, it was another Sanctum card, Seeker of Truth, which means that I built my board even further, boasting now 7 cards, uh, 5 of which are Sanctum. So yeah, I'm my deck is actually in full swing right now, and I'm in check. I have 8 amber, so I'm feeling pretty confident right now. I have good board control. I go to amber advantage. I'm not seeing, like right now, I wasn't seeing a way that he could turn this around. Although he did play Furtive Investigators, I think that's the name. Furtive Investors, I mean, which allowed him to get 3 amber in one play, which is a lot. And now, as you can read from the game log on your right, he's playing Lights Out, which gave him another Amber Pip, and he returned Scrivener Fabian and Ardent Hero back into my hand, thus reducing my board even further. So if you read the log, and as you can see right now he played a sack of coins and damaged 4 of my creatures. Now there is a card that he has that I just remembered, like after he played this, I remember that he has Mars Needs Amber, which is a Mars card, that makes your opponent's damaged creatures capture 1 from their own pool. So at this point, I knew that next turn, if he played Mars, he would probably make my creatures capture my own Amber, and thus making it so that he would capture it eventually. So what I decided to do, as I was thankful that I saved that Spirit's Way in my hand, is I reaped with all of my creatures, and I used Techno Knight's effect twice. And as you can probably imagine right now, I'm going to use the Spirit's Way. By doing that, I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to use the Eye of Judgment to purge one of his Ronnies, because I do think it's one of the more dangerous cards on my opponent's deck. But yeah, right now I am thinking about doing what I just said, using the Spirit's Way to get rid of my monsters, but most importantly, my damaged monsters, creatures except the Grey Rider. So what I do first is I play my Commandeer, gaining 1 amber. Then I play the Spirit's Way, make the Grey Rider capture 1 of the amber, and then both Ardent Hero and Scrivener Fabian are going to each capture another amber. So he's down to 2 amber, and I'm up to 7 in check. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident. My opponent chooses Mars, so at this point I was thinking, yep, he's going to do what I thought he was going to do, which is to play Mars Needs Amber. First, however, he does play a Collector Worm and Red Planet Raygun, and there you go, Mars Needs Amber, which if I had my other 3 damaged creatures on my board, they would capture, like I would lose an extra 3 amber and be reduced to uh, 3 amber. uh, so at this point, he GG's. I GG him back. I was able to predict that Mars needs amber play and thus securing the win. I was very lucky in this match, especially thanks to Mindfire that discarded Fuzzy Gruan. But I do also think that I played very well. That Spirit Sway, like using it in a defensive manner, I think it's a nice example of how the cards in your hand, like how you can use cards that are meant to destroy your opponent's creatures in a way, in a defensive way. You know, like I destroyed my own cards because I knew that even though I was basically losing board advantage, I was stopping him from doing a game-changing play next turn. So yeah, that was actually a well played from my end. But he also played very well, I think. I think I was very lucky in some of my draws, and I stopped him from further building his very threatening board, especially his untamed board that he was building in the beginning. But that's it. That's the match. Thank you, Wavert. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like it. Yeah, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Keyforge Portugal channel. You can look forward for more content. And that's it. Have a nice day.